June 19th, also known as Juneteenth, is a national holiday commemorating the end of slavery as an institution in the United States. It officially became a federal holiday in 2021. Across the nation, various sports organizations have honored Juneteenth. So here with me to talk about the celebration of Juneteenth across the sports world is Jamal Murphy, a sports journalist for Andscape. Jamal, good to see you and happy Juneteenth. When you look at how sports teams have honored Juneteenth the past 2 years, what do you make of it? And has there been enough focus on learning more about its importance in both Black history and American history?
Well, I mean, when you think of the way sports leagues and teams are handling it, I think they're doing, a pretty good job for what it is. I think, when you look at the holiday itself, it's kind of a performative holiday. I mean, we're in a time where one of the big debates going on is critical race theory, and yet we have Juneteenth. So obviously, this is kind of a performative holiday. And when you look at it like that, you can't really argue with the way sports leagues are handling it. They are bringing attention to the holiday itself. They are talking about the history. I guess some leagues are doing it a little better than others, but I can't really complain either way.
Now, Juneteenth, as we know, celebration of freedom, right? But we've seen Black athletes still face criticism for speaking out on issues of social injustice. So throughout sports history, there's been a message of freedom from Black athletes, but are people actually listening here?
Well, I mean, it's interesting. I mean, obviously, as I kind of touched on in the last answer, it's kind of a touchy subject. It's kind of a fake tolerance for athletes being able to speak out. Not everybody really goes along with that. So I think, leagues are in a tough situation in terms of, trying to placate the fans who may have different opinions and also trying to placate the players' ability to speak out. So I think there's a long way to go as far as leagues doing it the correct way and players really having actual freedom to speak their minds without any kind of repercussions. So I think, it kind of goes both ways. Yes, athletes are speaking out more and I guess tolerated more, but there's a long way to go as far as that aspect is concerned.
Still a lot of work to be done. Now, Jamal, when you think of the holiday and the ending of slavery, it's hard for me as a Black journalist not to think about how for so many Black people in this country, particularly the athletes, there was still a struggle to play integrated professional sports. We aren't even 100 years removed from the integration of the 4 major sports leagues in this country. So what's your assessment of progress, if any, for Black athletes in the United States?
Well, I mean, there's definitely been a lot of progress financially, and there's been a lot of progress for the Black athletes themselves, the people participating on the playing fields. There has been progress. Where the progress has lacked is beyond the playing fields, where coaches, general managers, owners, of course, vendors, sponsors, and all that kind of stuff. So beyond the field of play, there's a long way to go, and we're just in the beginning stages of that. And like I said before, various leagues are having various levels of success when you think about that. Obviously, the NBA has done a good job most recently as far as coaches. That at least 50% of the coaches are Black now, and that's a big difference from just a couple years ago. But of course, the NFL has a long way to go in that area. Major League Baseball has a long way to go in that area. And even on the playing field, Major League Baseball has regressed, so they have to make improvements in that area. And other sports, the NHL, of course, has to become more diverse, even on the ice. So, there's a long way to go. On the playing field, it's been pretty good for the athletes, especially financially. As we just talked about before, as far as having the freedom to say what they want and take stances that they want, there's a long way to go there. But most of the progress has to be made now beyond the playing field.
You're absolutely right about that, Jamal. Still a lot of work to be done. That is Jamal Murphy, sports writer for Andscape. Jamal, thanks for joining me. Appreciate it, brother.
Thanks for having me. Happy Father's Day.
You too.